Courage, Sean. I kept rehearsing in my mind. You've got to at least try. That dreaded day finally arrived. As I entered the room of doom where I was to make my debut, I kept trying to convince myself, just chill, okay? This can't be that bad. But it kept getting worse. I became increasingly intimidated as I discovered that nearly everyone in the room was either a music or a theater major. I mean, those people really knew how to sing. Since childhood, they'd been performing in musicals and choruses. My fear only increased when the first student called upon sang a song from Les Miserables that sounded better than on the soundtrack. The guy was incredible. Yet the class had the audacity to critique him. I think that your tonality was a little flat, someone said. Oh no, what will they think of me? Sean, you're up. Now it was my turn. As I stood in front of the class, 3 million light years outside of my comfort zone, I kept repeating to myself, courage. Ugh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Courage. Ugh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I will be singing On the Street Where You Live from My Fair Lady, I quivered. As the accompanist began playing the prelude and all eyes fell upon me, I couldn't help but think, how in the world did I get myself into this situation? And from the smiles on everyone's faces, it looked as if they were actually going to take me seriously. I have often walked down this street before, I rang out. Even before I reached the second line, the expressions of excitement on the students' faces turned to anguish. I was so nervous that my body felt as tight as jeans just pulled from the dryer. I had to squeeze each word out. Near the end of the song is a really high note. It had always been difficult for me to reach, even in practice. Now I anticipated it with terror. But as that note approached, I thought, what the heck, go for it. I don't recall if I hit that note or missed it. All I remember is that a few students were so embarrassed that they couldn't even look at me. I finished and sat down quickly. Silence. No one knew what to say. That was great, Sean. Thanks a lot, I shrugged, as if I believed them. But you know what? Although that experience nearly killed me, when I left that classroom and walked alone through the empty parking lot to my car, I was so proud of myself. I felt a great sense of personal accomplishment, and I frankly didn't care what anyone else thought about my high note. I had survived, and I was proud of it. As gymnast and Olympic gold medalist Gabby Douglas put it, the hard days are the best because that's where champions are made. So if you can push through, you can push through anything. So the next time you want to make a new friend, resist peer pressure, break an old habit, develop a new skill, try out for a team, audition for a play, ask out the one and only, change your job, get involved, be yourself, do it, do it, do it. Or even if you want to sing in public, do it. Even when all your fears and doubts scream out, you loser, you'll fail, don't try. Never let your fears make your decisions. You make them. Winning means rising each time you fall. We all feel fear from time to time, and that's okay. Feel the fear and do it anyway, goes the saying. One way I've learned to overcome fear is to keep this thought always in the back of my mind. Winning is nothing more than rising each time you fall. We should worry less about failing and more about the chances we miss when we don't even try. After all, many of the people we most admire failed many times. For instance, Babe Ruth struck out 1,330 times. Albert Einstein didn't talk until he was 4. Beethoven's music teacher said, as a composer, he is hopeless. Louis Pasteur was graded mediocre in chemistry. Rocket scientist Werner von Braun failed ninth-grade algebra. Chemist Madame Marie Curie experienced near financial ruin before creating the field of nuclear chemistry and forever changing the course of science. Steve Jobs was fired by Apple after he founded it, and later returned to run the company and invent the iPhone. Dr. Seuss's first book was rejected by 27 publishers. Below are events in the life history of a man who failed many times but kept fighting back. See if you can guess who it is. This man failed in business at age 22, was defeated for the state legislature at 23, failed in business at age 25, coped with the death of his sweetheart at age 26, suffered a nervous breakdown at the age of 27, Was defeated for Speaker at age 29. Was defeated for congressional nomination at age 34. Was elected to Congress at age 37. He lost the re-nomination for Congress at age 39. Was defeated for the Senate at age 46. Was defeated for the Vice Presidency of the United States at age 47. And was defeated for the Senate at age 49. This person was none other than Abraham Lincoln, elected President of the United States at age 51. He rose each time he fell, and eventually reached his destination, gaining the respect and admiration of all nations and peoples. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost, poet. Be strong in the hard moments. The poet Robert Frost wrote, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." I have come to believe that there are certain hard moments, diverging road moments, that if we are strong in them will make all the difference down the road in life. So what exactly are hard moments? Hard moments are conflicts between doing the right thing and doing the easier thing. They are the key tests, the defining moments in life, and how we handle them can literally shape our forevers. They come in two sizes, small and large. Some hard moments occur daily and include things like getting up when your alarm rings early, controlling your temper, or disciplining yourself to finish your homework. If you can conquer yourself and be strong in these moments, your days will run so much more smoothly, and you won't have to stress about them anymore. For example, if I'm weak in a hard moment and sleep in, mattress over my mind, it often snowballs and becomes the first of many little failures throughout the day. But if I get up when planned, mind over mattress, it often becomes the first of many little successes. In contrast to small, hard moments, larger ones occur every so often in life and include things like surrounding yourself with good friends, resisting negative peer pressure, and rebounding after a major setback. You may get cut from a team or dumped by your first love. Your parents may get divorced, or you may have a death in the family. These moments have huge consequences and often strike when you're least expecting them. If you recognize that these moments will come, and they will, then you can prepare for them and meet them head on like a warrior and come out victorious. Be courageous at these key junctures. Don't sacrifice your future happiness for one night of pleasure, a weekend of excitement, or a thrilling moment of revenge. If you are ever thinking about doing something really stupid, remember these lines from Shakespeare. Wow, Shakespeare twice in one chapter. What win I if I gain the thing I seek? A dream, a breath, a froth of fleeting joy? Who buys a minute's mirth to wail a week, or sails eternity to get a toy? For one sweet grape, who will the vine destroy? These lines are about sacrificing your future for a brief moment of joy. Who would want to give up the rest of his or her life for a toy? Or who would want to buy a minute of happiness, mirth, for a week's worth of pain? Or who would destroy an entire vine for just one grape? Only a stupid person would. Overcoming peer pressure. Some of the hardest moments come when facing peer pressure. Saying no when all your friends are saying yes takes raw courage. However, standing up to peer pressure, what I call won't power, is a massive deposit in your PVA. A counselor at a high school shared this. A freshman girl rushed into my office before school with tears streaming down her face. "They hate me! They hate me!" She had just been dumped by her group of friends who told her to get lost because she had been too good the day before to ditch school and ride up to Chicago for the day. She said at first she wanted to go, but then thought how much it would hurt her mom when the school called home and told her that her daughter wasn't in school. She felt she just couldn't do that to her mom because she had made so many sacrifices for her. She couldn't let her down. She stood up and said, "No, I can't do it," and everyone just blew her off. She thought the next day that everything would be okay, but it wasn't. They all told her to find new friends because she was too good for them. Through the tears and pain, she began to see that she felt good inside, but lonely, as her friends didn't accept her. But she accepted herself and gained self-respect and inner peace despite outside rejection. A life lesson learned and a moment of standing up for herself. Sometimes peer pressure can be so strong that the only way to resist is to remove yourself entirely from the environment you're in. This is especially the case if you're involved with a gang, a fraternity or sorority, or a tight group of friends. For Heather, changing her environment was the best solution. Even though I knew for a long time that I needed to change my friends, I just didn't know how. My quote-unquote best friend would encourage me to do the things she was, like sleeping around and doing drugs. Before long, people at school started to call me easy. I still wanted to be friends with her and my other friends because I would think about all the good times we'd had together. Yet when I went out with them at night, we would get into stuff we weren't supposed to. I knew I was holding on to things that I shouldn't be. I decided I needed to change my whole environment and get away from it all. I asked my mom if I could go and stay with my aunt to get a new start and find a better group of friends. She agreed, and since then I've moved in with my aunt. Now, around my new friends, I say whatever I feel is right, and I'm being more myself. I don't care what people say about me, and if they don't like me, then oh well. This is me, and I'm not going to change just to fit in with them. I am going to change for me. To overcome peer pressure, you've got to care more about what you think of you than what other people think of you. As this short poem by Portia Nelson reminds us, any day of the week I would choose to be out with others and in touch with myself than to be in with others and out of touch with myself. Why is peer pressure so hard to resist? It's because sometimes you're just dying to belong. That's why teens are often willing to go through brutal hazing rituals to become members of a club or fraternity or sorority. Some get into drugs and violence to become a member of a gang. Some feel they have to suck up to certain people to be popular, then drop their old friends on the way up the social ladder. At times, you may need to take a risk, resist the peer pressure, and do the right thing. John of Brooklyn told this story. Some of my friends in sophomore year started a page on Facebook about hating one girl named in our class. It was really awful. They'd make memes out of her photos and write terrible messages about her. There was really no reason to do this, and she was just kind of an outsider, and people were taking it way out of control. It wasn't even funny. Some of my friends were pressuring me to participate, but I just refused. Finally, I reported the group for hate speech anonymously, and it got shut down. I knew it was the right thing to do. I also told the principal, without naming names, that some people in the grade were cyberbullying, and we had an assembly about it. I was scared of having to face everyone the next day at school, but no one knew it was me who did it. In fact, I went up and talked to the girl in math class just to get to know her a little and let her know she wasn't alone. Turns out she's a really cool, nice person. We've been friends ever since, and she still doesn't know it was me who stopped cyberbullying.